All right, so to summarize the drama real quick, okay, so basically there was a Twitter video going around where these parents were protesting a school board meeting where they were talking about, making LGBTQ plus teachings an official topic. You know what I'm saying? Like they were going to take it as seriously as math and they were going to teach little children about this stuff, okay? And Nick Mercs basically said they need to leave them kids alone. That's the real issue. He was saying this is because a lot of people, typically whenever stuff like this surfaces, they usually like to cope about it and be like, oh, what's wrong with being gay? Oh, like, oh my God, oh, people are so scared of rainbows in their school. It's like, it's not about that, okay? It's about, sexualizing these young kids, okay? They do not need to be learning about this stuff this early in life. Like, this is way too advanced. They need to be focused on math, reading, all that good stuff. But I'm getting a little bit sidetracked, okay? So basically what happened when Nick Mercs said this, mind you, Nick Mercs is a part of FaZe, and he also has a Call of Duty sponsorship. Call of Duty sells a bundle on their microtransaction store that basically is endorsing Nick Mercs, and it's basically a skin that is specifically for him, and when people buy this, he gets a cut of the money and he gets rich, Call of Duty gets rich, everybody's happy. Well, they cut this off and they actually completely abandoned him. They have cut all ties with him. They don't want to be associated with him anymore, and they took his skin and all of his, all of his stuff off of the microtransaction stores, and everyone was super mad about this, reasonably so. It's because Call of Duty, they're bending the knee to these pedophiles, unironically. Like, this is like, they're actually pedophiles, okay? I'm not calling gay people pedophiles. I'm calling the people who are trying to teach our children about this stuff pedophiles, okay? Like, honestly. Okay, so this is kind of where I get a little bit personal with it, and I start, talking about my own opinion. Okay, so when I was in elementary school, they did not talk about this stuff, obviously, because people were normal back then. But also, they did have a sex ed class, but it was at literally the very ass end of elementary school. Like, I'm talking the last month of the 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're about to go into middle school. Some kids have already started puberty, and they're wondering what's going on with their bodies. So basically what they had us do was they warned us a week ahead of time, and they're like, hey, we're going to have a class, right, where we basically teach you about this stuff. So we're gonna have you take home a paper for your parents to sign to give us permission to teach you this stuff. This is something they don't even do anymore, okay? It's because as far as I know, they just have fucking trap queens just go inside of the classroom in like lingerie and incredibly sexualized clothing, and they just talk to their kids about this without the parents' knowledge or consent. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, even though they taught us this in elementary school, it was when most of us were going through puberty anyways, and most importantly, they got the parents' consent. And I actually went home and my mom signed it, giving my school permission to teach me about this stuff. They put us in a classroom where they separated the boys from the girls, and they taught the boys what they needed to know about, their version of puberty and what they're going to be going through, and they taught the girls their version of puberty and what they were going to be going through. You know what I'm saying? They taught the boys about deodorant, they taught the girls about tampons and deodorant and all the other shit that they have to learn about. Basically, the point that I'm trying to make is when I was younger, they were a lot more safe about this kind of stuff. Their wording was very, very careful. Hell, they barely even talked about sex. They mainly just talked about puberty and what's going to happen to us in like the coming years, right? Like how our voices are going to deepen and how, mentally we're going to start changing and growing and we're going to go from boys to men and shit like that, right? They were very careful. They got the consent from our parents, they barely even touched on like gay people and shit like that or sex in general. They just taught us about what we actually needed to know. And mind you, okay, I feel like this was the correct way of going about this because they did it at the ass end of school. They got the parents' consent and they taught us what we absolutely need to know. Nowadays, they aren't doing that at all. What they're doing instead is just, teaching kids about homosexuality and transgenderism fucking willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're teaching it to 8-year-olds and like 2nd graders and 1st graders and 3rd graders and all that shit. They're teaching little kids who barely even know what sex is about all this stuff. Hell, I even learned that there was a book called The Gendered Queer. I think I heard this from a Cheeto video. It's called A Gendered Queer or whatever the fuck. And basically it has depictions of a BJ in the book. Mind you, this is in the school fucking library for elementary school kids. Okay, like, if I was a kid, I would personally find that fucking hilarious, but since I'm an adult and like I actually know more nowadays, I view this as fucking horrifying. Why are they trying to teach our kids about this? Okay, it's not gay people, it's not the LGBTQ that's the villains here. It's the fact that they want kids to know about this. Why do they want to teach kids about this? I really don't understand. And the fact that Call of Duty is so quick to bend the knee, it just really shows that they don't actually care. All they want is money, you know what I'm saying? And like they're just cowards. They're just cowards. They don't actually care about the future of this country. They don't actually care about anything but money. And it's really fucking sad. And yeah, so many people are actually boycotting Call of Duty right now. You know, they're making videos about uninstalling the game and stuff like that. And like nickmercs actually made a response. He was like, look, I don't hate gay people. It's just the fact that I'm a father. And like, I'm worried that they're going to be teaching my kids about this without my consent. And funny thing is, this actually happens regularly in schools now. Hell, like there's probably going to be a couple pictures that I pop up in the video soon, but like they literally have like drag queens go inside of school libraries dressed in fucking lingerie and like pantyhose and incredibly sexualized clothing and like dancing around in provocative ways for these little children. Why would they even agree to do this? Why do they look like they're enjoying it? I don't understand this at all. This is disgusting. This is disgusting, okay? Like what you do behind closed doors, that's totally fine. Just don't do it in front of kids. Like what in the fuck? This isn't like rocket science, all right? Like this isn't fucking brain surgery or anything. This is actually like disgusting, okay? And there's so many fucking people like Tipster on Twitter who are being like, oh my God, oh, the right wing is scared of rainbows in their school. It's like, it's not about the rainbows. It's about what they represent. It's about the fact that they're teaching this to little kids, okay? Like, why was teaching kids about why was teaching kids about sex like a couple years back like a completely taboo thing to do? You know what I'm saying? But now it's like a completely normal thing. And like they're teaching them about like super advanced shit that 8-year-olds realistically shouldn't be knowing about. They're telling little boys that maybe they should become girls instead. It's completely fucked. It's completely fucked, and it's just wrong. Like dead ass. All right, anyways, I'm going to be uploading a fuckload of videos today, so stick around if you want more content. This is probably going to be one of the more serious videos today because this is actually something that I care about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not in a joking mood at all whenever this type of shit comes up. I actually think this type of stuff is incredibly dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, there's a couple things about transitioning that I actually view as dangerous that I feel like should be talked about more. You know what I'm saying? But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Basically, I'm going to be making a bunch of uploads today. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell, okay? It's because I'm going to be absolutely raping your notification bar in a couple minutes. See ya.